Welcome back, hunters. I am the SurvivalVis, and we return to our Build-A-Bowgun series featuring the Black God himself, screaming mad lad incarnate, as you saw from the intro, AKANTOR. So this is going to be a little bit of a change from the Build-A-Bowgun series because we're going and tackling a really big built-up endgame monster of sorts. Now, AKANTOR was first introduced back in Monster Hunter, I think it was 2 or Freedom 2. It was one of those, and he kind of has been a staple going along through a lot of the series with a lot of incarnations because he's just a very good monster. He's came before Ukanlos, but him and Ukanlos are kind of linked with their body style and their fights being this big, huge, quadrupedal monster that you really have to take on and be very careful of. And AKANTOR has gotten a lot of really cool weapons and armor over the years. Concept art of him was even fantastic, as you can see here. But one of the weapons that he never got was a light bowgun. So I figured we'll try taking a little spin and see what we can do to create a bowgun that matches up to just the sheer legend and power that is AKANTOR. So before we do hop into that, as always, I want to give you a little showcase of some of the weapons. And you'll see a trend to them. First up is the bow here. And you can see it has that large AKANTOR lower jaw, number of giant tusks for just the shape of things. And if we go along to the hunting horn, a lot of the weapons are really streamlined when you actually look at how AKANTOR is designed. Like, we'll just swap back. We see a lot of the huge spikes sticking out from the back ridges of him, but weapons, they don't have that much really spikiness to them. They're these kind of jet black, some orange highlighting, just simpler designed weapons. Like, the great sword, just a big slab of AKANTOR bone, basically. You might think it would have had more spikes along the edges or something, but no, this works really superbly well. Even the switch axe here, it's just really simple, streamlined look and fits so well. And even the heavy bowgun has that going for it as well. For some reason, the spikes didn't get included in the weapons, and I think that makes them really, really good to keep that sort of jet feature to them. And that's something we'll try to bring into the light bowgun as well. And let's just take a look at the armors, because this is where all the spikes came through. I think I have a bigger blown up version of these. Yeah, here we go. So as you can see, spikes galore to match up with AKANTOR's back there. But he is just a fantastic monster. I always love hunting him, because as much as he can be this really big challenge, huge thing, you are always in for a really good fight with him, especially when he goes into his enraged state and armors up a bit. And the gunner armor, I also have to admit, I love because of the way they've done the hand crest to look like the jaw and the tusk. But moving on from that, we have a bowgun to make. So, we have our little template here as always, and we're going to be using this sort of base as a style, but we'll probably be adding not as much as you think, but enough to make a nice AKANTOR bowgun. So this will be the barrel to start with. And we're going to start again from the front and work back, because the back is actually pretty simple and easy to do, and the front sort of middle is where most of the work is probably going to come in here. And what we want to do is we're going to start just like how the bow has been, and even the gunner arm has been, so making that lower jaw of AKANTOR sort of stick out a bit more. So we'll probably start way down here, branch that up a bit, and make something like a nice big V of sorts. Then it kind of goes down to a point. And we'll just zoom in so we can close that up. And my thinking for the bow limbs is we're going to make those a pair of big tusks that stick up from the front here. Something kind of like that. Then we want another little thing coming down here. Just because Akantor's weapons all have that sort of layering to them. Like you can see the segments that are layered on top of each other going down and up and just everything like that. So we want to include that a little bit. And we'll do a few little things to break it up along the length here. And I do have to take another look at the tusks, because they do have a little bit of actually layering going up towards the tips. So we'll do a little something maybe like that. Maybe something like that to keep the color shifting a bit. Okay, let's start filling these in. We want a nice dark, but it's almost like a bluish tinted black. If you take a look, that's generally a pretty good dark black there. It might just be the lighting because of the heavy bowguns coloring there, but kind of that feels what we want to go for color-wise. So maybe we'll just start... Oh, that's actually not too bad to start with. And then we are going to use that old tusk coloring up there. Now, we'll take this again, we'll brighten up a little bit more. There we go, and I want to see how... Yeah, it looks like more towards the ends and the tips might have a little bit more of a lighter coloring. So let's see what it looks like if we do it down like that. I feel like that's too blue. We need a proper black. Let's get our darker blue and see... There we go, that's coming along better. But I still want to do a little more up to the front here, because as we see for the bow, it kind of... Every time you see the Akantor draw, it always comes up a little bit in a way. Let me get that gunner armor. Yeah, it all slopes down, and then there is that little bit of sort of boning... Well, bone colorish at the very tip, so we'll probably try including that here as well. Zoom our way in, and we'll do maybe a little something like that. And see about maybe just having it run down along the bottom edge a bit. Not a lot to really take away from things, but just enough to give it that little bit of texture. Yeah, that will probably need quite a bit of going in to do. This is why I prefer using the pixel stuff for coming up with the bowgun designs. It just is a lot easier to be able to go in and do yourself. And you know what we'll do? Another black, just get that along. And I think like that. There we go. That's, I don't think, looking too bad as a start for that. But we do need to bring this up to kind of meet the barrel in a way. Actually, I should wonder and see if I can even... There we go. We'll move this up a bit so that way it's, say, something more like that. Okay, now let's use the black again. We'll bring it up a bit. So that way it kind of has a bit of a flat. Then goes and joins up with the rest. And we'll put maybe a little bang up here. Let's color all that in. No, that's not quite the one we want. That kind of is, but we lose that little bit of depth kind of perception, or that little bit of contrast between them if they're all the same color. So I'm just trying to see what would be better. What happens if I do full black down here? It's still kind of hard to see, isn't it? Let's redo that fill in. Put that little one up there like that. Maybe we'll even have a couple of small mini ones just kind of sticking up here. Something like that. just to keep that kind of feel around how we have those teeth going around the bottom jaw a lot. I think that is okay there. And I might even actually lift this up more to hide the barrel entirely. So that might not be bad there. I might just actually color the barrel in beneath it. Oh, no, not quite that. That's right, we're working on that different kind of layer there. Let's see, what if we do a completely black barrel behind it? How will this look? That's actually come out pretty nice, although we are very zoomed in, so we have to wait until we get the... And we will kind of just carry that along, so that way... not bad, but I do kind of feel... Is it missing something behind it? Like, the bow works pretty well because that's how the bow is, but I'm wondering if we should have something almost like that little segment going back a bit. Not a lot of them. Just enough that it's kind of like, let's see, what happens if I do try this? We'll go back to, say, maybe there. Actually, let me zoom in, and we'll finish that off there. Say that goes to there like that. Give it a few of those small segments, and those have a little bit of a bone tip to them. So maybe now... try to do this. And instead we'll use the white to cover this up now. Go back and see how that looks. Now that we've kind of changed that up a bit. I just want to give it those little more bone-colored tips to keep it with that AKANTOR feel the other weapons have. And then this, I think, is going to be the lighter coloring again, so kind of that bluish. Oh, not quite. For some reason, that one did not get fully sealed up. Oh, I think I know why. That's right, working on a different layer, so we've got to just kind of go down. Make sure that is completely like that. There we go. Okay, I think that actually covers the front of it how I wanted. Now we're going to do a new layer, and this time we're going to work on the stock. Because we're not really going to do too much to the middle area aside from some cosmetic changes and probably figure out how we can work in some of these orange highlights. But for now, we're going to completely redo the stock. There we go, just cover all that up. And the stock is going to be very simple for AKANTOR. Because there's one feature that AKANTOR has that is really unique and you really notice as soon as you see it. And that is his big tail. Because it's a really, really odd one. Like, it almost looks like another arm of sorts because it has 3 claws that almost, like, go downwards like a paw. For people who have fought him, you can here's a little bit of a easy way to see it, but it's those 3 prongs that go down just like the claws of his hands almost do. So we're basically going to just do that for his tail. And using that, we'll do little segment layers. I don't think we'll do too many. We'll try to keep this a little bit more of a shorter bow gun, but you do a little something like there's our first one. There's our second, and this will be the last one before we do the full tail. Akantor's tail, it's almost like a crocodile underbelly in a way, is there's not really any features aside from just the soft coloring of the underbelly to it. Now, do we want the claws facing downwards, like curving down like that, or we do want them kind of curling back up and inwards? I think for the sake of things, we'll probably have them curl down, just because that'll be easier to kind of show off. How does the tail go? So it kind of goes out to back here, and this already starts to curve down. This will be the one big claw that kind of comes around. And then how does the smaller one do? It's quite a ways back, so we'll bring that incorporated as well. I think that's a little too far along like that. Quite. Or something like that, and then if we say bring that up like that, and bring this one back so that way it feels a little more underneath. Okay, let's start cleaning this up with the white. Get all in here, clean up anything that we had left over. And maybe we'll even try keeping the claws a little bit like that. Okay, so for the underbelly, I'm just going to try click a little random just to give it that feel of sorts that it's underneath. And we'll give that sort of like this color, but even a little paler. That should be good like that. Now, segments go down pretty much right too, so it might be easiest to do something sort of like this. Or kind of that arrow going along. And then we'll use the blue back here so that way we can kind of see where it's easiest about the... just sort of for the difference of where each segment is. So that's not looking too bad at all. Now we just need to figure out this back claw a little more, because they're basically the same color right up until they meet with the tail. So it'd be best to do just a big chunky one like that. And like that. And what we'll do is we'll just use the white to fill this in. There we go, and then if we use the segment color, just put in our patches where the white was. Now, the color for the tail is a little harder to say, because it's a little bit like the softer tips, but I don't want to do it, at least I don't think I want to do it the big, bright yellowish that we sort of had, though. Let me just try it and see what it looks like. Out that badly, but I feel like the color is still too bright. We need that darker. There we go. Actually, oh, shoot. Alright, let's go back to barrel, just because I want to do the tip there. That looks a little better. I like the lighter highlights for some things there. I want to see... Yeah, Akantor's underbelly, it even has the bit of segmenting to it as well, so maybe we will carry that feature through on our bowgun here. There we go, that looks pretty good. So now we'll want to carry that along in a way. So my thinking is we'll probably do a few more small things like... How did I do this? Like that. And like that, and let's change the color. Oh, no, that's right, I forgot again, the layer issue. Forgot to seal that up as we were working. So that should do that. Let's try it again. Sort of. I know back here is going to be a little problematic. And this should seal it up proper. There we go. Okay, now comes a little bit of a trickier part. So what I'm going to do is go back to our base layer, and I'm going to turn the opacity down a bit to just 25. Something that way, as we're working, we can just sort of see it in the background. So that way we can carry along with how we've kind of done the segments a bit. And I'll even actually carry these parts down just a little bit like this. Because I don't know if I really want the full underbelly coming through or just at the tail. A little bit like that. Maybe one more that's just kind of... Oh, nope, not quite like that. Gotta click first. There we go. One comes down like that. Something like that. And I don't think we'll do the things like the trigger that we normally see on the bowguns, but I do feel like I want to do a little more something here. I also want to work in the orange highlights, but just trying to think of what I could even add. Well, actually, you know what? I'll just put this in here. If we turn that layer off now, yeah, we might even just... I think we'll keep like that. Ooh, I just got to do a little thing up there. And the strings will basically come in from there. Say they come down to somewhere probably right like that. And maybe we'll have just kind of that little slide way that our little handle usually sits on for the bow guns that have the bow frame, or the limbs for it. Okay, so we'll fill that in with black, but we'll make that one our little kind of handle there. Maybe even use a grayish just to outline that. Go, and let's see. Now, how does it look if we fill... Oop, that's right, forgot once again. I could probably merge the layers down, but I think I only really want to do that once we've kind of gotten to the end of all the work we want to do on it. So let's try that and see. No, missed a little bit at the front of that one, but we can fix that up pretty quick. There we go. That doesn't look too bad, actually. I really love how the stock came out. That, I feel, is perfect. I do wonder if I should do a little something. I think I will do just a little thing down. Oh, actually, I got to change that color again. And we'll just give the bottoms down here that bit of light bone as well. And I think all we really got to do is figure out where we want to put in some orange at the highlights. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I think I want to do it mostly up here. Like in this section here. We will just do a few small ones. Now, this is going to be very hard to see until I actually do the orange. We need up more right around in here, because Akantor has a very... Ooh, right. Forgot about that again. Just assaulted us with orange there for a moment, but that should... Almost. Okay, let's hope this properly does it this time. There we go. One orange thing there. Well, it is kind of odd looking. It might be because that's the wrong direction. Although, they do basically just run as straight bright orange, so I don't even probably need to do the black. I could probably just try like this and see what I find works well. Something like that. There we go. That looks pretty nice. Maybe we'll just do another one that kind of goes up here. Just kind of leads in. There we go. That actually, I think that's one of my favorite bowguns we've done on the channel so far for Akantor. Because I feel like it really captures a lot of how he is. I might just make maybe back here a little bit blacker for how the tail kind of meets up in the stalk, like these claws. Just give it a couple of layers so that way it looks really black and distinct. Yeah, we just got to use this one to color this up a bit. There we go. I think that, yeah, that brings this bowgun to an end. Like, that's probably one of my favorites we have done so far. It's that nice streamlined, you easily see it's an Akantor weapon, and it feels like it does fit him. I think I used too much orange up here, actually. Give me a moment, and I'll just clean this up. Oh yeah, I feel like this one is probably one of our best weapons, probably rivaling the Tigrex one we did first, because there are some changes the Najural and the Nargacuga I would like to do in hindsight, but for now, I think we can leave this bowgun right here. Oh, we also gotta name it, don't we? Although I think the text tool is probably going to be way too large. Let's bring this down to, say, 4. This would be... Oh, actually, we have more room than I thought we'd have to work with. You know, let's do 10. This would be... what's a good name for an Akantor Blast? Actually, the Akantor Blaster sounds pretty good. And let's just put it into a little bit more thematic font. There we go. And we have ourselves the Akantor Blaster. I really do like it, and I feel like it would be, for as big as Akantor usually is with how his weapons are, I feel like a light bowgun that maybe is squatter, but that's larger in size would work well for him. I think that brings this episode to its end, so thank you guys very much for joining me on another Build-A-Bowgun episode. I do have quite a few other monsters in mind. Oh, I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. We're just going to end the episode here. Just had a phone call quickly come up there. So, thank you guys for always joining me on another episode. If you do have any monsters you'd like to see an idea for a bowgun made up of, be sure to let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for what you guys think, or even redesigns of existing ones. If you do want to help the channel, maybe think about subscribing. We're always trying to build up and reach that 100 subscriber milestone, but until I see you in the next episode, please remember, as always, to take care and stay alive.